Well, the rankings are out, and as anticipated, the Buckeyes are in. Sort of predicted it. I think it was pretty much set in stone once SC got beat in the fashion they got beat. I thought the top four teams were set. This may have been one of the more uneventful playoff rankings oh, since the inception because we knew who the top four were going to be. I think it was pretty much set in stone. It was going to be the four teams that made the playoffs. The only question was leading into the Saturday games was what was the order going to be. Um, I thought Michigan may have had a slight chance if they looked really, really good against Purdue, and Georgia struggled against LSU, but that became evident real early that LSU was not going to be any problem for Georgia. So I think pretty much set in stone. So the only question became then 3 and 4, Ohio State, TCU. Who was going to be 3? Who was going to be 4? TCU got the nod at number 3, which can't be mad with. They had a good year, better strength of schedule at the long run. But I think your boy did mention, at least that's what I took from it. If they had not came back and forced overtime, there may have been a good shot that Ohio State would have got that number 3 spot. That's at least that's what I took from his explanation of how that TCU Kansas State game played out, because that was looking not a blowout, but that would have been a decisive win for Kansas State. And had TCU not come back and forced overtime, so we might very well be looking at an Ohio State Michigan rematch in the semifinals, as opposed to both of them needing to win now for that rematch that happened. But they did what they do all year, what they've done all year. They've come back. They came back and made it an interesting game, lost in overtime. So once, hell, they could have pulled the game out, but they lost in overtime. So given the nature of that loss, you would have been too hard to move Ohio State in front of them. But what was so annoying was them still trying to justify Alabama. That was just so annoying. It was annoying. Not all the analysts, because we know the love fest that ESPN has with the SEC and Bama in particular, but that was just so annoying following that SC game. Following that SC game, some folks were already talking about it. They're happy in Tuscaloosa. I'm like, why are they happy? And they're not getting in. They're not getting in over Ohio State. They just weren't going to get in on Ohio State. If they're going to be getting in over Ohio State, they would have been ranked in front of Ohio State already. But they were already doing it after that SC game. So you imagine how it was after when TCU lost. When TCU lost, it started up again. It was just so frustrating hearing that. It was just you changed the name on the front of the jersey from TCU to Alabama. You wouldn't even be having that discussion. You just wouldn't be. And then it was so pitiful. They let Nick Saban come on and try to pitch his case for the rankings. Like if all you can talk about are your 2 losses, that's justification for being in, then you don't deserve to be in. I'm sorry. It was just so frustrating how that all played out up until they actually revealed the top 4. But if anything, Tennessee to me would have been more deserving than Bama. They beat Bama head to head, and they destroyed LSU, which beat Bama. So I just never understood why Bama as opposed to Tennessee. But anyway, when it's all said and done, the committee got it right. It would have been hard to move Ohio State in front of TCU. I didn't think they would, and especially given over in the nature of how they lost. They came back, and they won. They came back forced overtime, and they lost in overtime. It would have sucked though if they would have put Ohio State in front of us, in front of TCU, because what happened the last time Ohio State got into the playoffs? They bumped TCU. They bumped TCU out. Remember when Ohio State got in? They destroyed Wisconsin. I think back then the Big 12, they didn't have the conference championship game, and that's how they justified moving Ohio State in front of TCU. They didn't have a championship game back in the day when the college playoffs first started, and that's how Ohio State got in. They thumped Wisconsin, and the rest was history. So we see a replay, and could we see a replay of that happening now? They got now that the toggle back to that now. Ohio State got in. A lot of people were mad Ohio State got in at the number 14. Even with that said, no one gave Ohio State a chance to beat Bama, who was, I believe they were the number 1 team. No one gave Ohio State a chance to beat Bama. What do? We went out there and we beat Bama, our third string quarterback. Not to say it's going to happen again, but it just somehow our parallels play out sometime. But we got a chance. I thought the committee got it right. My only issue would be with number 5 and 6, which doesn't affect the playoffs at all. I still think Tennessee should be in front of Bama, but they got the top 4 right. Not only get the top 4 right, I think it's in the right order. And I think it was one of the more non-eventful playoff final playoff rankings in a while. I think the top 4 were pretty much set in stone once SC lost in the fashion that they lost in. So the committee got it. Committee got it right. So I ain't mad at the committee and their explanations. He came in, he explained himself. I thought he made good sound arguments and why he ranked them the way they did. But I still think though if Kansas State had held on to that lead and not let them, and that game had not gone into overtime, I think we'd be seeing the Ohio State Michigan rematch in the semifinals as opposed to now both of them having to win for that rematch to happen. So, but following the Michigan loss, all we could ask for was a chance. We got that chance. We didn't say it's gonna be easy. Did not say it's gonna be easy. Going to the ATL and beating Georgia, that's not gonna be easy. You can't even front. It ain't gonna be. Georgia's playing the best right now. They're the defending champions for a reason, and I think over this last few weeks they've shown they are. I think they've risen their level of play above everybody else. I mean, I hate to say it because it's the SEC but Georgia's playing the best right now. It's going to be a tall task for Ohio State to beat them. But I will say this: throughout the whole year, leading up to the Michigan game, I thought Ohio State was the one offensive team that could give Georgia problems. But we'll dive into the actual game in the future recording, but future posting. But I still think Ohio State is the one team that can give them potentially fits that Georgia defense. They've been wanting to see it all year. Ohio State's offense against Georgia's defense. We're going to get to see it. So hopefully Ohio State, they said they've been wanting, Ryan, they say it felt like a new leash on life. They're going to play free, unbanned, unrestricted. I hope so, because y'all going to need it. Y'all going to need it. Y'all going to need to bring your A game. Definitely, you got to clean up the sloppy play. I do think, knock on wood, and I said it before, I didn't think Michigan's offense could do to our defense what they ended up doing. So I'm going to say it again. I don't think Georgia's the offense is all that dynamic. They're just sound, disciplined, and they run, and they don't beat themselves. So Ohio State's going to have to bring it. But that's good. It wasn't going to be easy. All you can do is get in. You're either going to have to play the number 1 team who's playing the best right now in Georgia, or you're going to have to play Michigan, the team that them beat you twice the last 2 years. So it wasn't going to be easy. It never was going to be easy, actually. I mean, had you beaten Michigan, you'd probably be playing them again anyway. So it's just going to be, you got a chance, Ryan Day. You got a chance, C.J. Stroud. So it's going to be real interesting moving forward. But instant reaction, snap reaction of the playoff committee, they got it right. They got the top 4 teams right, given how the year played out. Bama, you shouldn't have been in there. The stuff about Bama, I never understood. They can't keep living off past glory. That's basically what it is. You shouldn't even be number 5. Tennessee should be number 5, but you ain't not in the playoffs, so I'm happy about that. But so Ohio State got to get ready. C.J. Stroud, you got a chance to change your legacy because you got a chance to go out on a high note. You got a chance to go out there on a high note. And we'll get into some of the stuff what we need Ryan Day to do, C.J. Stroud to do. We'll get into that as the game approaches. But for now, Buckeye Nation, Ohio State is in. It's official. We're the number 4 seed, and we gotta go to the ATL, y'all. Got to go to the ATL and see what we can do against Georgia. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. OHIO, go Bucks. So if you're liking this segment, please hit the like button. If you're feeling what you're hearing, please subscribe. Till next time.